It's minicamp and OTA season, and today we're taking a look at the New England Patriots and getting our first look at Stefon Diggs. We're going to watch him work through some drills, run some routes, and everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now, because we're looking at practice every day. Rookie camp, minicamp, OTAs, soon-to-be training camp, workouts, everything else in between. If you want to know what your rookies are doing, it's going to be right here. Guys coming back from injury like today, right here. Quarterback battles, guys on your favorite team, those guys you're drafting in fantasy, right here. Click that button, stop missing out. We're looking at Stefon Diggs today. Almost 3 minutes of clips. They went crazy over him, and here we are. Here we are. Watch the knee. Watch how he is. But the thing is, you're looking at a top-tier veteran wide receiver here. A top-tier veteran wide receiver here coming back from an injury. And the technical nuance is not going to leave. There we go. There's been workout clips all offseason long on him. There's him and Javon Baker. Watch the break. There we are. Knees looking solid. Things are looking solid. And I think the major thing that you're going to see in some of these clips is just him interacting with the other wide receivers. And him just coaching them up a little bit, talking to them a little bit, just giving that veteran presence of a veteran top-tier route runner. Bam, there he goes. A guy that will command targets. Not only is he good in this offense due to the talent, like, he's going to help this young, talented wide receiver depth chart. Like, there's a lot of talent on this wide receiver depth chart that just needs to tap in. That needs to step it up, really. Like, right here. Like, right here. Like, we need some of these players to step it up. Like, we got Polk, Baker, Williams. We got a lot of talent on this team. Javon Baker's been stepping it up, but maybe we can get a little bit more. I mean, Demario Douglas has been looking good over the last few years, but maybe we can get a little bit more. This is something this team needed. And more than just his contributions on the field, more than just whatever yardage total he puts up, we got to see how he handles a full workload this offseason and training camp, coming off that knee injury and into the season. But things are just looking good right now. That's the one thing we can say. Things are just looking good. And the mentorship factor here from Diggs, just stepping in, helping these young wide receivers, is probably going to be just as much important as his production total. Honestly, he's going to help out Drake Maye. He's going to help out the wide receivers, probably some of the running backs too and tight ends. Like, this was a big moment. When I gathered the clips and read off what the beat writers were saying and just watching everything from a whole, it just felt like the energy increased with him being there. That's what I gather. Like, he showed up and the energy at practice was all of a sudden different. Like, more positive. Like, more of a light at the end of the tunnel type of deal. Like, here's Diggs. Here we go. And I can't say that as a fact. That's how I felt from reading accounts and also just seeing the clips and putting it all together. One thing I will note, Javon Baker, I do not have a clip on it, but it was noted that he had a major catch yesterday. Like, one of the biggest plays of the day, with Drake Maye throwing him the rock. And it looks like Drake Maye's taking the Stefon Diggs instantly. So that's looking good, which I imagine he would. Diggs takes to all quarterbacks just because such a nasty route runner, breaks on a dime. That's what you're seeing from Stefon Diggs. And like I said, he is going to do more than just the yardage total. Racking up stats, being an outlet on the field. You're getting somebody that's going to help this young wide receiver depth chart. There's a lot of talent here that needs tapped into. From Williams from this year's draft, Baker last year, Polk last year, Baker flashed last year. He was leading team in routes ran for multiple weeks. But maybe you get more out of him. Maybe you get more out of Pop Douglas. Maybe you get more out of these guys. There's a lot of potential on this depth chart. There's a lot of potential. And if he can just leak some of this knowledge into a couple of these guys, maybe even just one, with Diggs being there, adding Trevion Henderson, Drake Maye taking a step forward, that might be just enough to really make this offense very potent. And now, if multiple wide receivers just take a step forward, and maybe just a step, they don't have to be Stefon Diggs. Maybe it's just like 3 wide receivers. It just clicks with them a little bit more. And next thing you know, you got Diggs doing Diggs things. The backfield's looking better than last year. Maye takes a step forward. He's developing. He's into year 2. The Patriots might have something here. So what am I looking at just for fantasy football? Drake Maye is probably going to be late roundish QB depending on your seasonal league format and who you're drafting with. He might get pulled up on quicker and earlier with leagues with guys that are watching channels like this all off season long. Basic home leagues, he's going to be a lot cheaper. Dynasty is expensive. Super flex wise, 1 QB wise, you might be able to string something out depending on your formats, depending on your waiver wire. If there's starting quarterbacks on the waiver wire, you might be able to catch them if you want. Stefon Diggs. Here's the thing about Stefon Diggs and his value. He's cheap. He's cheap. Coming off an ACL, older wide receiver, new team. Another thing about this, too, when you look at his value, there's a lot of wide receiver 2s on teams that gives you wide receiver 2-ish production in fantasy, who's approaching like that 27 age threshold, 28. That's giving you that, and they're still priced pretty high. There's a few of them. They'll give you like 4 wide receiver 1 weeks and a slew wide receiver 2 weeks. And it might be pretty steady, but the price is up there. So you might be able to go bargain discount, get something similar. It's a little bit of a risk, but it's still like a short-term asset with a veteran like this. I'll say veteran like this because I'm not talking strictly Diggs. I'm just not. Maybe like a Devontae Adams. I'm not talking strictly Diggs. That there's some expensive wide receiver 2s that you could just pay down a bit, and you're going to get some sort of similar production if everything goes according to plan, but also according to plan to those wide receivers 2s as well, but it's cheaper. It's cheaper. Maybe you want to go that route. Or you could just do both. It's that much of a price variance, but it allows you to soak in other strategies, look at younger players, look at running backs. So just because we're older doesn't mean you can't look at them. You have to strategize around it. That's something else you could do. That's another way you could look at these older wide receiver 1s. Older wide receiver 1s who are cheap, that you know you only got so much more time with. There's also like more expensive like wide receiver 2s that might have a little bit more time, but also the upside production week to week may not be the same and may not be as reliable as some of these older wide receiver 1s that you're looking at. There's not many of them. There's usually like 1 or 2 every year that's a little bit down a ways on ADP that you can look at, but that's a strategic front. Another way to look at it. And he's going to be a little bit cheaper in redraft as well. And at cost, that is something to play around with and really depends on your build. And I talk about builds when drafting. So if you're going running back, and then you're looking at wide receivers, he's probably going to be in the mix for you. If you're going hero RB, you're going running back, wide receiver, or wide receiver, running back, or something like that in the beginning. And next thing you know, after that, you're pounding out more wide receivers. You might be in the range when it's time to draft him to start going running back again. That's the thing about that. He's in this weird range. Like, it's really depending on your format and how you're built. Like, you might be too rich at wide receiver, and you may need to go back at running back. And also, the thing is, I'm attacking handcuff running back stronger this year due to the talent of this rookie draft class. Last year's class was not near as talented. So when I look at players, I don't say player good, player bad when it comes to picking them up. I kind of talk in a strategic front and talk in a macro, and that way I can also include like as many players you want to throw in there that you call the similar asset, and then you have a strategy with that, because we're in drafts. Sometimes they pull on the players too early and you can't even draft Stefon Diggs. What was the point saying he was going to be good or bad anyways? He didn't even have the option. But this player here is similar. Or you don't like Stefon Diggs, but he falls a half round or so later, and now you're like, what should I do? But you look at the strategy context here, and you're like, I'm stacked at wide receiver. I need running backs anyways. That what Bruce said a few months ago makes sense. You know, it's not all like player good, player bad. It's how you build your team, where you're at contextually. When I'm looking at the Patriots here, they got a lot of talent here at wide receiver, and this is going to be a good mentor. This is what's getting me excited here. And I'm watching this, and we know there's a lot of talent here, and they're patient. They showed they can be patient. They were patient with Kayshon Boutte. Why can't they be patient with these other wide receivers? Get him matched up with some of the youngins every practice for a little bit. Have him teach, have him cook a bit with them. It only helps him too, because that allows him to see better coverages. And this is what you bring in a guy like this for. You got Drake Maye there. It's going to help Drake Maye. It's going to help them not see like heavier fronts, heavier boxes when it comes to Stevenson and Hendo. Steve-O and Hendo. That's the new name. But I expect him to acclimate well. Now, if you're questioning the knee, it looks all right from this front. But also, we're older. Father Time might just step in and say, hey, we might get dinged up with injuries, but that it is what it is. You cannot predict that. They're going to happen or it's not. But right now, things are looking good. Stefon Diggs, snappy route runner, and a good mentor for this deep, talented wide receiver depth chart. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.